Hello, fans of DX Engineering. It is Friday afternoon, and it's time for the weekend special. Today, we have a very special guest. It is Nathaniel, W2NAF, from out in eastern Pennsylvania. Hello, Nathaniel.
Hi, Tim. How are you?
Good,
Doing
good.
well.
Nathaniel, you had a big week this week with students and scientists and professors. Why don't you tell everybody what's going on?
Oh, it was a huge week. I brought a whole bunch of students, four students and a professor and some staff members and volunteers from the University of Scranton over to K3LR. We met up with our friends and collaborators from Case Western Reserve, W8EDU, and we installed a personal space weather station, a HamSCI personal space weather station over at K3LR. And yeah.
So it was a pretty good week. Nathaniel, let's talk about, there's so many things to talk about, but one of the things I really want to focus on today is the upcoming Meteor Scatter QSO party that HamSCI is sponsoring that comes up here in just a few days.
That's right, Tim. That starts on Monday and Tuesday, August 11th and 12th. And we have a new QSO party that's specifically geared towards Meteor Scatter. And it's really exciting because the recent changes in FCC rules allows amateurs to now use MSK 144, which is a digital mode part of WSJT, on 10 meters, which they weren't allowed to do before. So now we're going to have a real opportunity to try both a 6 and 10 meter meteor scatter and see which band wins.
And, so this is the first time I think HamSCI is also having another event in December, but, hopefully you're seeing the HamSCI website now on the screen.
See here.
Maybe.
Yes, I am. I'm seeing it right there.
All right. So just by going to hamsci.org/MSQP, you can find out more details. But talk about, it says, work the rocks, decode the pings.
That's right. So August 11th and 12th is the Perseid Meteor Shower. And what we're encouraging people to do is actually try out Meteor Scatter, which you can do with a fairly modest station on either 6 meters or 10 meters. And you can use the WSJT software. And we're asking people to look at the rules. If you see MSQP operating guidelines right there, it's a big blue button. It gives you guidelines for how you can operate this contest or operating event. And unlike a normal contest, we actually have scientific objectives for this event. And again, if you click that blue button right there, not that, go up a little higher, click the big blue button. There you go. So there, it shows you exactly what our science objectives are. So we're asking things like what factors influence meteor scatter propagation, what is the typical duration of useful meteor scatter, what's the minimum size of an amateur radio station needed to work meteor scatter operations, how can meteor scatter communication be distinguished from other propagation modes, and how do optical and radio meteor scatter observations compare with amateur radio observations. And so all of our operating guidelines and rules are designed to help us answer these questions.
And so this is MSK 144 only, but it's just as easy as FT8, right?
That's right. Yeah, you can download the same software that you use for FT8, and you can just change the mode to MSK 144. And the guidelines are all on the website here, and that will let you go ahead and participate in this.
And do you have any sense of how many stations might participate, Nathaniel?
I don't have a really good sense. This is the first time we're doing a Meteor Scatter QSO party, so I'm hoping that we get between 50 and 100. But I'm hoping that as we do this one, we might be able to get the word out more for the future and build up this community.
Yeah, that would really be great. What kind of data do you think you're going to be able to get from this?
I think there's a couple of different types of data. One are going to be standard PSK reporter type of spots and people's logs, which basically say, uh, who talked to who at what time, and it will say on what frequency. So we'll get that information. But another critical piece of information we're looking at getting are actual wave file recordings of people's contacts or QSOs, because by looking at how long the signal lasts in those wave files, we can that can help us tease out, did they actually use Meteor Scatter? Was there some other mode? So we're hoping to get both of those types of things, both the ADIF logs and also the wave file recordings, which you can actually record in WSJT.
Now, who's going to be receiving the logs and processing the data?
So it's going to be HamSCI members. So I have a couple of students here who are working on this project, and some of them will be helping to process it. HamSCI has a postdoctoral research associate, Dr. Kuldeep Pandey, over at NJIT. He's going to be looking at the data. We also have a volunteer collaborator who's actually, in his day job, he's a professional, Dr. Rob Suggs. He is also an amateur who is very well versed in Meteor Scatter. So he's also going to be looking at this.
So this will really be it's groundbreaking because it is the first one. And what is the difference between this meteor shower and the one in December?
Let's see. So they're going to have slightly different rates. The different meteor showers are going to have the meteors are going to have different velocities, and that will help us to know. That's going to be able to help us to understand certain of our science objectives.
I do want to talk, Nathaniel, for a minute about what happened in QST this month with the very large insert about HamSCI. And in fact, the Meteor Scatter QSO party is described in here as well. What kind of reactions have you gotten? I mean, this is a great article, and you had many authors featured in here as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think the feedback from the QST has just been fantastic. I don't know any other project that has had quite such a large spread in QST, and I think it's a real testament to the HamSCI community. And one of the reasons we were able to have so many different authors contribute is they highlighted presentations from the HamSCI workshop, which took place at New Jersey Institute of Technology last March. So at that workshop, we had many different members of the HamSCI community, each give presentations, either a 20-minute oral presentation on their project or a poster presentation on their project. And then Bob Inderbitson and some of the ARRL staff came to the workshop, and they picked out some of their favorite presentations and asked those authors to summarize their presentation for QST.
Boy, it was just tremendous. I mean, this is one of my favorite issues now because it features so many good things that HamSCI is doing in the amateur radio community and in the science community at large. Nathaniel, where do you see all this going now? What's the future look like for HamSCI and the activities of everybody involved?
Well, I think it's really bright. We have quite a few universities, the University of Scranton, Case Western, NJIT, MIT Haystack Observatory, University of Alabama. They're all involved in this right now. And I think what's great about this is we're creating an infrastructure with the personal space weather station to give data that's useful to both amateurs and to scientists. And we're just getting people excited about this so that we have people who already have a lot of expertise. I'm a trained ionospheric physicist. We have our postdocs and our research professors working on this, but we're also bringing new students, young students into this. We're bringing in people who are have years of experience and are retired engineers. We're bringing them into this. And what's one of the things I like about HamSCI is I don't tell people, oh, this is what you have to do, or this is how things have to go. I really try to create an environment where people can kind of say, oh, this is my idea. Here's how I contribute, or here's what I'm interested in. And then I say, okay, that's great. Yeah, here's how I think this fits into the whole thing. And I try to make it all work together. And that's how we're able to get so many different projects and really support each other in this community.
So you talk about some of the universities and colleges that are supporting HamSCI. Do they all have amateur radio clubs?
Most of them do. So certainly the University of Scranton has W3USR, Case Western has W8EDU, NJIT has K2MFF, and all of those clubs are active in HamSCI. University of Alabama also has a club, I believe, but they're not so active in HamSCI the way the other clubs are. But hopefully that'll change in the future.
And, you know, I guess you can contribute as much or as little as you want. And that's the great thing. You know, the way you have this structured, it is free flowing. And I'm sure every once in a while you get a surprise where somebody dives in and goes deep.
Oh, absolutely. It's really, really amazing how people kind of pick up on a need and they'll be like, this is really what I'm going to focus on. I'll be like, wow, that's great. We really needed that problem solved. And, you know, right now we have some of our HamSCI Tapper collaborators, you know, they're working on a system where we can improve the timing that our personal space weather station has. So there's people working on that. There are people who are like, oh, I see you're having a problem with some filtering or some interference, and they'll come up with a new filter and be like, here, this is going to solve your problem. Or, you know, we'll get some students that are just really excited about this particular aspect of science, and they'll dive right into it. So it's been really great that way.
And so the students and the professors that you had here at K3LR earlier this week, I mean, they took time away from their summer vacation, or maybe this was their vacation, you know, spending a week at K3LR. But when you take and look back on that experience and all the organization that you put together, how would you rate it? Do you think it was worthwhile?
Oh my gosh, it was so worthwhile. And for so many reasons too. I mean, you know, there's just the main purpose of the trip was to install a personal space weather station. I think we did that. We got it working. I think that the preparation that we did to make sure we had all the equipment working before we got there, make sure we had the students trained on how the equipment works and how to install it. I think that gave the students a real hands-on experience and a vested reason to go. As you know, the students from both institutions, from both Scranton and Dr. Christina Collins, KD OXT from Case Western, they gave presentations about the data that has been collected by these systems or where they want these systems to go. And so I think there was a real sharing of information and ideas that went far beyond just doing an installation. And then I know my students, you know, I'm trying to build up W3USR as a great place to train to introduce people to amateur radio, to train people to be good operators, to not only have them be good operators, but have this inspire them to really take an interest in this. You know, we have a beautiful station at W3USR, but there's nothing like seeing the excitement on the students' faces when they first come in and see the antenna system at K3LR, and then they get to operate that station. I think the students got so much out of it.
Well, it was a real joy to host you, your students, your professors, and everyone that was involved in making the week a success. And certainly, you know, we're excited to contribute in some small way from here. I do want to recognize people in the chat room. X-Ray Echo 2 Zulu Zulu is on with us, and Sandy from Germany, Delta Lima 1 Queen Queen, and our friend Mike Maury, Kilo Echo 3 Juliet Papa. He's a local guy who who might get involved in the MSK 144 here for the Meteor QSO party, and our real good friend, James Scotty, WK3N, also another local DXer. Well, Nathaniel, thanks so much for coming on today. It was great to have you here, spend the week with you, and we certainly wish you and all the people involved at HamSCI good luck in the future, and we'll have you on again soon for another report.
Thank you so much, Tim. I really appreciate it.
All right, and thanks to all of you for watching. Hope you have a great weekend. Get on the air. The Worked All Europe contest is this weekend, and other activities. Parks on the air every day, every night is on. And the Meteor QSO party is Monday and Tuesday of next week. So get on, contribute to HamSCI. Until next time, 73.
73.